What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for Your Overwatch, coming at you live from a hotel room. The mic's probably going to sound a bit funny. Sorry about that. Here in LA with the opportunity to catch the Overwatch League Season 2 kickoff. And with that, we'll hopefully have some cool content coming down the line. So be sure to be on the lookout for all of that. But we've got a big news roundup for you. And first things up, controversial streamer xQc finds his way back into the professional scene as a backup on the Gladiators Legion. With his streaming career going so well, I somehow doubt that he's going to put in the time required in order to really battle for any playtime on the Legion, but we'll have to see how they manage that. And of course, with such a controversial figure, there's going to be opinions galore to be had. This is a hot one from the rival LA team, LA Valiant owner Noah Winston, saying, when representing a diverse city like LA, I'd hope that certain teams would weigh their brand and their community's values over raw streaming numbers. Ooh, Noah hitting him with the passive-aggressive shade. Yikes. General manager for the Houston Outlaws Flames says that this is a good thing, as it'll help get more eyes on the Tier 2 scene, which struggles to get over 10,000 viewers at times. And the memes have been coming out already. Gladiators Legion hit him with the Ariana Grande meme saying, "Thank you, Dallas Fuel, next." And Jane, who of course is a coach for the Dallas Fuel, says, "Methinks this is a tad too smug for a team whose best selling point was an immigration lawyer." Wham! Inside joke. I don't get it, because I'm not in the inner circle to know why that would be significant, but I'm sure it's hilarious if you're in the inner circle of the Overwatch League teams. Next up, Overwatch streamer Fariha Anderson got struck down with a 30-day Twitch ban for breaking the rules on community guidelines towards harassment. And this story's got more plot twists than an M. Night Shyamalan film. From what it seems, some pretty mundane, rude, and maybe you'd go as far to say toxic trash talk is getting elevated to the point of being called harassment. So for context of all of this, Fariha, who plays in North America, along with a handful of other players from the same region, got placed into a South American server with massive ping. With everyone sort of complaining about the situation, she was thinking to herself, well, we've had much worse obstacles to overcome on the East Coast servers where everything's crazy all the time. We definitely can overcome this here playing on South America soil. But instead, what came out of her mouth is, come on guys, SA is bleep, we've got this. And the weird thing is, on top of this, Fariha, once making the mistake, went to Twitter right away with a incredibly long tweet longer, defending herself, explaining that it was just a thing she said on accident in the heat of the moment. Means no disrespect, of course. Fariha herself is a minority in more ways than one, definitely understands being alienated and all the rest of it. But regardless of the long apology, as we can see from Slasher's tweet, there was a South American Discord which didn't like their region getting ridiculed, that banded together to make complaints towards Twitch, which in effect saw her receive this 30-day ban. Now listen, the South American region has some legit gaming all-stars. We of course came from the CSGO scene. It was awesome to see the Brazilian team climb to power, and we watched those guys from their humble beginnings all the way up to SK and even the expansion teams with Immortals. Brazil especially has some deep esports roots, and it has to be respected, but not in Overwatch so much. So not only are we being overly sensitive here, we're not even being accurate. To be real, there's one Overwatch region, and it's Korea. I play in East Coast, it's really bad, China's really bad, South America is a bit better maybe. I think this whole situation could use a big cup of not taking yourself too seriously, and it's crazy we live in a day and age where an offhanded slight provokes people to try to ruin your Twitch streaming career, which is in effect what you do when you take somebody down for a month. That's a really big deal, and I wish there was a way we could counteract this. I'm seeing this getting called xenophobic all over the internet, and it's just completely unfair. Calling someone bad at a video game isn't xenophobic. It might be rude, perhaps even toxic, but it's not xenophobic, okay? And furthermore, can we please get to a spot in society where someone can say something wrong and apologize for it, and we accept that apology? Oh, maybe I'm crazy. My mother taught me sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Apparently we live in the day and age where that's not true anymore. I don't know. I'm an old man, apparently. Our next story, I'm sure you've heard that there was massive layoffs over at Blizzard, and it's just heartbreaking, really, to see so many people lose their jobs. It's an incredibly stressful time, and our support goes out to many of these talented people and their pursuit to find jobs. It was inspiring to see that many other developers and publishing studios were reaching out via Twitter, telling some of these employees to reach out to them to find positions at their company. And I think you'll find, if you really chart a lot of the game industry, there is a lot of turnover in this way, but it's odd, definitely, to see nearly 1,000 employees go at once. And then, of course, there's the other end of this, where there's been a bit of clickbait fake news, honestly, about the Activision earnings reports. Every YouTuber I've seen cover this labels it as because Activision's profits have been higher than ever, when I'm pretty sure it was the revenue, which is a very different thing. Back to childhood stories, if my dad gave me $20 a month to do all the chores that I had to do, that's great, right? But as soon as he starts to force me to buy my own supplies, buy gas for the lawnmower, buy soap, sponges, and everything else, right? That really starts to add up. That's the difference between profit and revenue. Revenue is the money you bring in. Profit is how much is left after you spend everything that's required to make it. So I think it's been spun a little bit as if Activision is doing a lot better than they actually are. And oddly enough, despite this being a horrible corporate restructuring that you hate to see, for us as consumers, it might net in a bit of a positive direction. As they've said, they're looking to increase the development team, especially for Overwatch in 2019, which I think is entirely important. There's other game studios like Fortnite over there, which have a massive development team, and Team 4 is the same bunch they've had just about the entire way through. Now, there's different philosophies on how to work that out, and I think especially recently, Fortnite has made some major blunders, which is always the fear when you start to pump out more content. Like, people hate planes, apparently. I don't know, I don't play the game. But on the other end of the stick, I think a lot of us would desire a quicker pace of content to be brought out from Overwatch, but also at the same rate, some of the things that I think really need to be done with the game aren't some big, massive content that you need a lot of employees to do, but instead some internal soul searching on what direction they want to take the game. For example, ranked. I said this in my 3 things Overwatch must learn from Apex yesterday, but a lot of those things I don't think you necessarily need a big dev team to do, but it requires some hard decisions. So really all this hiring, firing is kind of here nor there for Overwatch fans, I think. Probably the most interesting thing for Overwatch fans is Bobby Kotick said that there'll be much more things to come out of the Overwatch franchise, but we have no idea what this means. They've been pushing out Legos, cereal boxes, Nerf guns, all sorts of fun things that would have been great when the game had massive momentum behind it, but I can't help but feel that they're forgetting the most important thing: players playing the game. So I think it's a pretty safe bet to expect an Overwatch mobile game to come out at some point, and I expect it to be good, right? I don't say that cynically, of course, but I just wish they focused on the most hardcore players that are going to stick around for you forever, rather than dumb down ranked to hopefully keep the casuals around and, oh, look, they're gone anyway, right? It's like too late for that, but we'll see. At least we got the Overwatch League though, right? That's always awesome. And in my opinion, the crown jewel of Overwatch so far. The league is really amazing, and there's some cute little storylines that I wanted to cover right here at the end of the video. Dallas Fuel made a hype piece on their star player effect, sort of writing a narrative of him being a reformed player, saying, quote, "I used to want to be the best player, and now I want to be the best teammate," which is incredibly important in a GOATS meta, but also, of course, just generally for the atmosphere of the locker room, so to speak. Glad to see that. And with the league gearing up, members from the broadcast team, Sideshow and Monte Cristo, have been making their own YouTube content. And Monte Cristo, after being able to go to the team houses, actually watch the team scrim behind the scenes, has released his own power rankings for Stage 1. And some of the ranks I think are going to surprise you. Paris Eternal at number 7 due to the power of their GOATs. EU Masters of the Comp, of course. Going to look quite scary. And way up the top, he put Spark at number 2 and San Francisco Shock at number 1. If this is true, I'm just going to be blown out of my chair, and it's the type of big movement you like to see in an esports like this. It'll be an exciting season. Of course, I think I'm the only person who isn't buying the Shock, but I also haven't been able to see them scrim internally. So either I'm incredibly wrong on my assessment of the ceiling of the team, or this team is like the Fort Knox for scrim bucks, which I think might be the case, but I have no faith in my own ability to assess this anymore. Everyone is against me on this, so I'm probably just wrong, but excited to see it nonetheless. Sideshow in his recent video today went in deeper detail to explain why everyone loves the San Francisco Shock, and well, with all this information, I think it's just time for me to take that big fat L. But we'll see. They play the Dallas Fuel tomorrow, and if all these claims of them are true, they are the number 1 powerhouse, well, that should be a cakewalk game, right? So I'm excited to see it. I'll be cheering on Coach Jane and Arrow to try to make the upset win. But that's going to be everything for today's news roundup, guys. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave it a like. It really does help us out and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Link in the description is our Twitter, where we tweet out news, updates, and dank memes. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.